Yeah, I'll have to edit that out. Hello, beautiful people. My name is Kristen. Thank you for stopping by my channel to find out what I will be reading in the month of April for certain. For certain, we are going to stay on track in April. This is the goal, right? So I will be doing a couple buddy reads in the month of April. I am going to be reading Liane Moriarty's The Husband's Secret with Berna from Berna's book. I will leave her channel below. I really have a passion for Liane Moriarty's Big Little Lies, and I really appreciated the last anniversary. Some of her other books I have just been on the fence about, and The Perfect Strangers was not my favorite. But this book I've heard good things about. I am really looking forward to it, and I'm really looking forward to reading it with Berna. If you haven't checked out her channel before, she actually is Turkish and does a lot of Turkish books, including a Turkish word of the day, but she reviews a lot of modern classics and contemporaries both. So check her out. I'm also going to be doing a second buddy read. I'm going to be Their Eyes Were Watching God, ZORA, Neale, Hurston. I am going to be reading this with Elle at Elle Thinks, and I'm super also excited to do that buddy read. I haven't gotten a chance to read with Elle yet. I love her channel. She is just really well-spoken and thoughtful about the books she reads, and she not only reads classic and contemporaries, but quite a bit of fantasy, which I also love to put a smattering of fantasy into my reading. It's really weird because sometimes you find people that are all predominantly fantasy and some people who are all predominantly just kind of modern literary, but I love finding those people that love both. So we are going to be reading, though, a classic, Their Eyes Are Watching God. So I don't know too much about it. Don't know. All right. So looking forward to this. I will also be actually picking up this kind of beat up vintage copy of the Vixens. This is by Frank Yerby. I got this for $1 at a library sale, and I mean, a lot of times I buy vintage books just because I want to sit them on my shelf and look at them. This one isn't particularly gorgeous, right? But for whatever reason, I picked it up and just read the first paragraph. It says, when it was over, it was not really over, and that was the trouble. But they thought it was, and the feeling was a good one. And I thought that first couple lines just pulled me in. I have no idea what this book is about or any context, but I just read those couple lines and I just wanted to keep reading it, and it was $1. So it went in my box of books from this library sale. And yeah, it's got a lot of water damage, but it's readable. It's about 300 pages, and I really want to read that story. If Cats Disappeared from the World. This is Genki Kawamura. I hope I'm saying that right, Kawamura. But look at this cover. It's got the gold foil letters and this beautiful cat. And it's a short little story. I think this is going to be very similar flavor to Before the Coffee Gets Cold, where it's a person dealing with a philosophical meaning of life, and basically in order to live or in order to get what they want, something has to disappear from the world permanently. And I think they have a pet cat, and maybe cats are going to disappear from the world, but which is really troubling because I have cats. But that whole principle of, are you, what's the value of things and what's the meaning of things? So I've been in that vibe lately. I've been in that vibe. So I haven't read it. Who was it? Ben at Overly Average Ben read this and recommended this, and this is why it originally went on my wish list. I don't know that I can find that exact video. It was quite some time ago, but I'll leave his link to his channel below. He also does a lot of fantasy as well as little cute literary classics and contemporary fiction. And then, y'all, I have to read H.D. Parry's The Unlikely Escape of Uriah Heep. So Uriah Heep is like the horrible, no good villain of David Copperfield. And so I think this is a story where he actually gets into our world from the book world, but I'm not positive. But I don't care. whatever it is as a side story of Uriah Heep, I am down for it. And I love, love, love everything I read by H.D. Parry so far. So I'm definitely getting to this one. And all my friends who love deckled edges, this is a deckled edge book. So I love them. So I'm super excited about that. Now, so that's 5 books for sure. Sorry about the camera shaking. 5 books for sure that I'm going to read. And now it's time for the mug. So, classics. We've got our mug. I put Alias Grace back in. But I didn't go through and open them all and pull Robinson Crusoe out. So, oh, nope. I got Armadale. I will get it and show you when I wrap up the others. But Armadale is Wilke Collins, and I adore. He's one of my very, very favorite classic authors, and I know it's a story like another story centered around a big family and a woman's coming of age in life, but I will look it up and give you a little bit more. Let's pull the rest. So this one should be the fiction that y'all all picked for me, the 12 that go in the mug. Let's see what we got. The Mountain Between Us. So The Mountain Between Us. I'm going to pull them all and then I'll pull all of the things. Okay, this one, there and back again. This one is my nonfiction. Let's see what my nonfiction will be. Oh, good. Discrimination and Discrepancies. So, oh look, I hurt my finger. So that is Thomas Sowell. So Thomas Sowell, that one's particularly one of the ones he's known for on race. And then my Hobbity one holds all the books that are 2 years or under at the beginning of the year. So I will be reading, Infantile Country. Country, is it county? Country. I know it's got a really cool cover. Let me pull these books. I'll be right back. Okay, so now I've pulled the 4 books that I'm adding to the pile. So Armadale, the classic, Wilke Collins. Yes, it is coming of age, and it particularly, they said this is the 3rd of his 4 great novels. So it's right before The Moonstone, but after Woman in White and No Name. And I've read all 3 of those other books. So this, I guess, is the last of his 4 great novels that I haven't read. And it's kind of edgy because it's dealing with the duality of her as her own person and her own sexuality and coming of age versus what society expects and requires, which, yeah, sounds like a lot of classics, right? And then The Mountain Between Us. I am curious what I'm going to think about this. So I've heard really good things about it. I heard the movie is good. Charles Martin wrote this about, it's 2 married people, a man and a woman, who go down in a plane or a helicopter crash somewhere into the remote wilderness and have to get out and survive. And then there's the tension of them going through something really important and dangerous and bonding when they're not married to one another. So depending on how it goes and how they deal with it may depend on how well I like it, but I've heard that it's good. So we're going to give it a go. Then it's not Infantile, it's Infinite Country by Patricia Engel. So this was a Book of the Month Club I picked because it is I think a young woman, I think in her 20s, she is in prison or in a correctional facility for a violent act in Colombia, in her home country, but she's trying to rejoin her family who I think they immigrated to the United States. They've moved away, and she's trying to get herself free and get out to start a new life somewhere else. So, and a lot of it takes place in Bogota. So way back a while ago when I was taking some youth on a mission to Brazil, we got stranded in Colombia, in Bogota, for 24 hours. And so I had a, busload of minors that I was trying to take care of in Colombia. So the fact that this was set in Colombia, I just got a lot of interest for that country, just spending that 24 hours in it and just really challenging my perceptions. Like as an American, I kind of had this kind of drug lord and unsafe and all the negative side of Colombia, when really our experience there in 24 hours was a lot of grace, a lot of hospitality, a lot of beautiful country, and actually pretty enjoyable stay. So I really liked how it made us rethink a lot of the hidden prejudices that we have. And so I thought some of that might come back up when I'm reading the account in this story, but I don't know. I also just loved this cover. I just thought that is an amazing cover. That just draws me in. So now I get to read it, as well as Discrimination and Disparities. I love Thomas Sowell. I did read his autobiography recently for Nonfiction November, and sorry about the glare. Ring light. This book is talking about, he's an economic professor and genius. And so he's talking about the social and economic divide that is kind of exacerbated by race and economic status and labels, if you will, where the discrimination happens for no other reason than the color of your skin or your gender or your beliefs or those kind of things, and dealing with it from an economic social standpoint. So he's very well spoken, well written, that you can understand kind of more complex economic theories and problem solve even someone like me. So not a huge book, but I'm thinking it will take me a little while to work my way through this one and really digest it. So now let's see how we ended up for April. All right. I mean, that looks kind of typical for me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 books. I think I can do this. I'm not sure how many of the ones over here on my I hope to get to TBR work in pile I will get to, but let's set a goal and try to get through as many of those in April as we can. If you've read any of them, leave me a comment below. If you want to read any of them, also leave me a comment below. I look forward to meeting you in the comments and seeing you again. Like and subscribe. Take care. Happy reading, y'all.